too deep, and I'm trying to keep bob in my head instead of going under. Instead of going under.
Hey, welcome back to Super Mario 64 Episode 8. Hey, what's up? So you can probably tell, I'm not exactly where I left off at the end of the last episode. It's another day. It's another day, another dollar, another Mario 64. Gonna be a short little session tonight. I think I'm just gonna record this one episode. It's, I guess for you, it's, what, February 1st? The 1st or the 2nd? I think it's the 1st. Which means my birthday has already passed. But for me in real life right now, as I'm recording this, my birthday is coming up this week. So I don't have a ton of time to record tonight, but I wanted to make sure that in case there was a break in uploads, I didn't leave anyone hanging waiting for the next Bowser stage. So, you know, not that it matters, because by the time this goes up, I will have already been back from my trip. But I need to do a quick one tonight, so that I can start packing. Oh, it's going well so far. It's going really well so far. I gotta do this recording and get it edited and then pack for my trip home. Hope everyone's having a good week. Is it Saturday? I think it might be Saturday. Yeah, I hope everyone had a good week and having a good weekend. Me? I'm chilling. I'm big chilling. It is the weekend for me currently. Actually, you know what? It lines up. It is Saturday for me also, but it's last Saturday. So I worked today, and I don't know. It's work. Had a little bit of working. I also went to Costco today. Oh my god. Costco on a weekend day around, I don't know, 1 p.m. maybe when I went, because I had to get some provisions for the office. Costco sucks. Like, I usually only go on what is my weekend. So like the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, while everyone's at work. Costco was gross today, dude. I just needed to go in for some bottled water because our water machine's broken. I had to get some bottled water and some energy drinks and some coffee. And that's all I needed. 5 items. 5 items from Costco. And I was in there for almost a full hour. I got in the line, and the line to check out was like halfway. Oh, I'm doing not great at Super Mario 64. Yeah, the line to check out was like halfway, backed up halfway across the store. And it was just a bad time. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. But I mean, like, it was for work, so I kind of got paid for it. Like, it was kind of not the worst way to get paid. I also, oh my gosh, I was gonna, not, I don't know what words I'm trying to say. I got some mail today from my good friend back home, and it's a birthday card. A beautiful, hand-drawn, handwritten birthday card. And it made my whole day just so much better. I don't know, just something about having something handmade for you with, I don't know, actual thought and work and I don't know, hand-drawn art. It felt really good. Not that I was having a bad day or anything, but I definitely started having a really good day when I opened that. So thank you. You know who you are. Oh no. Oh jeez. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to go into Bowser with very little health. Anyway, it was a birthday card and a bunch of stickers of things that I like a Game Boy and an old computer and some funky looking geese. I don't know, man. It's just a good day. I'm feeling good. Feeling good about life right now, which is in stark contrast to 2 days ago. I don't know. I lost my mind for a second there, but I was definitely having like a not good week. And being around just literally any other human when I went to work yesterday it just immediately boosted my mood by a whole lot. And then today, getting a birthday card handmade from one of my good friends back home. Just everything's good right now. I'm just feeling good. And I'm packing tonight to go home and see my family and friends after work tomorrow. Things are coming up, Bill. It's been a slow start to the year, but things are coming up, Bill. And check it out. Oh no! Almost didn't get him. I was gonna say one shot. It was not a one shot. Oh, look at that. Bowser 2 in the books. But hey, that's not all we're doing today. We gotta get our 10 stars for the episode. So, firstly, we gotta go back into Dire Docks. And I must collect the 100 coin star and the 8 red coin star. If you recall, had to do this in the last episode, but I couldn't because Bowser's frickin' sub was in the way. But now that I've defeated him, he's no longer in his Fire Sea. I guess the lore explanation is he has boarded his submarine and left the area. Again, really strange that is the only time in this game that something like that happens, where an outside influence, something happening outside the level influences what's happening within the level. It was a very cool concept, and I feel like maybe a ahead of its time concept. Not to give Nintendo... Actually, you know, I'm cool with giving 1996 Nintendo a lot of credit. They knew what they were doing. They still do, they're just annoying. Nintendo is the Google of the gaming world, I feel. They make cool stuff very infrequently, but when they do make something cool, it's awesome. But then they forget about it for 20 years and don't do anything with it. Looking at you, F-Zero. Looking at you, 3D Donkey Kong. I miss the old Nintendo. I miss the Nintendo from the age that I wasn't around for, actually. Imagine how exciting it was to see Super Mario 64 for the first time. When the most recent Mario game was Yoshi's Island, which still a beautiful game, but definitely of its time. But I may be wrong in my assumptions of how people reacted to the N64. If anyone's watching currently who was around for that, was this a huge deal? Was the jump to 3D just incredible, awesome, biggest thing that ever could have happened? Or was it ugly by comparison to what was at the time masterful 2D sprite work? I'd love to... I'm sure I've had these conversations before, but I'd love to get more insight from people who were around and conscious of gaming at the time. Because now it feels like every new generation of console, nothing's exciting anymore. Like PS2 to PS3. Okay, we'll use PlayStation as an example here. Sure. PS1 to PS2. That is essentially 2D to 3D, 2D sprites. For the most part, there was some 3D there was a good bit of 3D in the PS1, but it was ugly 3D. So it was a massive graphical leap when the PS2 came out. And then PS2 happened, great. PS2 to PS3, still working within the same like 3D space. But now we're in the HD era. Go from the PS2, which could technically do 3D. It had some 720p and 1080i games, but not a lot. Then PS3, which was easily online. You didn't need to buy a special adapter. All the games were at least capable of being run in HD. Some of them maybe still rendered in 480p or whatever. But then you have PS3 to PS4, which is, well, we're still using the same Blu-ray disc media. The games still look mostly the same. Just, I don't know, what was the big selling point of the PS4? Better graphics, slightly better graphics. Then PS4 to PS5, the biggest thing that happened there was solid state storage, which was just, oh hey, games load faster now, and we're able to hide the loading screens easier than we could on the PS4. I don't know, all of that is just me saying nothing gets me excited for a new console release anymore. So, like I talked about when the Switch 2 got announced, it's they haven't announced anything about it, like specs wise. We just know that it exists. But it's definitely just gonna be the same thing again. And that is gaming in current year. It's the same, but a little bit better. I guess to wrap this all up, I just want to... I'm sad that I missed gaming advancements being exciting. But I can still appreciate it. I can still appreciate that there's a massive jump in the technology between a Super Nintendo and an N64. Oh, I need 6 more coins? Is Dire Dire Docks like a very coin stingy? Because I only have 1 more red coin. And I'm gonna need 4 more coins total. This might be the stage with the tightest coin count. I know where there are some coins, but they're in a bad spot. So you can't see them, but there's some coins underneath that hole. But that hole is like a vortex. If I swim near it, it'll suck me up and I'll be gone forever. So let's swim like kinda near it, but not too close. Oh, I'm scared of it. I'm scared of it is the thing. I worked so hard for my 96 coins. There might be another... I need to get some air. There might be another string of coins in the first area that I missed. Very possible. I guess... Sorry, I'm still thinking about game console advancements and stuff like that. I was around when we went from N64 to GameCube. But I was a dumb little kid, and at the time it was just, oh, new thing is better, obviously. Was that a big deal? Was the N64 to GameCube jump pretty big? I would assume so, because it was very limited cartridge-based media to, oh, now we're on discs that can hold, what, 1.4 gigabytes of data. So games could be bigger. And obviously the GameCube was quite a bit more powerful than the N64. I guess Nintendo... I'm about to make myself sad. Nintendo hasn't had a boring console release, in my eyes, ever, until the Switch 2 got announced. It's so boring. And let me explain. NES take this with a grain of salt because I wasn't around for a lot of these console releases. The NES was, at the time, I think the most powerful home console. Oh, here's some coins. Please don't. Please don't. I might die here. Oh, let me out, let me out, let me out. Okay, there we go. The NES was the most powerful home console at the time that I'm aware of. And at the very least, it was the most accessible. It was like bringing an arcade home. Games at the time were still, you know, score-based and single player for the most part, but also it's social in that you're competing for high scores. Then we went from NES to Super Nintendo, which was a huge visual leap. We're going from an 8-bit system to a 16-bit system. The controllers had more buttons on them. You could do more stuff. Yeah, a pretty big deal. Maybe not the biggest leap in gaming history, but it was definitely a big deal. And it was competing with the Sega Genesis at the time, so it had an aura about it. There were the console wars. Were you Team Nintendo or were you Team Sega Genesis? So Super Nintendo was exciting. N64, obviously, hey, we're making the jump to 3D. That's awesome. That's cool. The greatest multiplayer system of all time. It had 4 controller ports on it. Big deal. Then N64 to GameCube was cartridge to disc-based. Games could be bigger. Quite a bit more processing power. There's a pretty substantial graphical leap from N64 to GameCube. And then the Wii came out, which was not a technical, wasn't a huge technical leap, but it had a very exciting gimmick with motion controls. And it was hugely popular. Everyone and their grandmother and their grandmother's grandmother had a Nintendo Wii in 2006. Wii Sports took the world by storm. So, the Wii was exciting. It was cool. Then the Wii U, nobody knew what it was. But for me, personally, I thought that thing was incredible. There were some... If developers knew how to develop for the Wii, they could make some really, really awesome games. Did I say Wii? I meant Wii U. Like the original release of Mario Kart 8. That was a beautiful, beautiful game. It looked like it belonged on, I don't know, the Xbox One or the PS4. Which, that was at a time when people were like, oh, Nintendo can't make technically impressive consoles. It's all looked the same forever, but that's not true. The Wii U was a very strong competitor in the scene, technically, but... Oh, come on, let me get the star. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the metal cap. I don't know. I'm forever a Wii U apologist. I think that it's just the coolest console ever. And it had the screen, so you could be playing... I haven't actually played Wind Waker HD or anything like that. But in my head, you're like looking up at the TV screen, playing the video game, and then you look down and you have like your inventory or your map or whatever on the gamepad with the screen on it. And it's like a DS where you have a whole thing on the bottom screen and then you have the whole like actual gameplay on the top screen. That's really cool. Another thing, the DS was incredible. It was a touchscreen handheld with 2 screens on it. Anyway, and then the Wii U came to pass, and then we had the Nintendo Switch, which was home console, portable hybrid with detachable controllers, and it was really, really cool. Biggest selling console of all time for a reason. And then the Switch 2. All of those huge, exciting, impressive jumps. And then you get to the Switch 2. And I hope one day someone will be watching this episode back and they'll be able to type into the comments, you were so wrong. This was actually so impressive because XYZ. It's so graphically whatever, whatever. I sure hope that's the case. But just from what we've seen, it's just the Switch again. And that's sad. That's sad for Nintendo, and it's sad for gaming. But whatever, I'm sure the games will be great. I'm sure whatever Zelda game they make for the Switch 2 is going to be just incredible. But right now I'm mad. Thank you for listening to my rant about Nintendo consoles. I'm a stupid nerd, I know. I'm just passionate. I'm just passionate about gaming, and I want to have good, fun experiences on my dumb little Nintendo handhelds. I think I might resent I might resent the Switch 2 a little bit. Because it's like the final nail in the coffin for Nintendo just not doing handhelds anymore. Or like dedicated handhelds, that is. Because I'm such a Game Boy guy. I love the Game Boy. And the DS. I loved all of them. And I had it in my head that it would be super awesome if the next Nintendo console was a home console again, with some gimmick. And then they just continue making Switch consoles as their handheld line. And that's just how they did it. But no, it looks like we're going to be stuck with how to say, I guess compromised hardware. And what I mean by that is they can't make a great home console because as long as they're making Nintendo Switch consoles, they have to make compromises in the sake of portability. But at the very least, I know Nintendo makes really good games. So I'm hopeful and looking forward to all the great video games we have coming in the future. Like perhaps another 3D Mario. 3D Donkey Kong? Who knows? I'm also curious if, I feel like I've talked about all this before, but it's just been top of mind lately because it's happening. It's happening right now. I'm curious if the Switch 2 will run Switch 1 games any better than the Switch 1 already does. Like, imagine if they released a patch for Breath of the Wild, and now suddenly your Breath of the Wild runs at 60 frames per second. Or like actual 1080p at 30 frames per second, something like that. It'd be nice to have Switch 2 enhanced games. Which, if there's one thing I can give to Sony and the PlayStation, it's that the PS5 Pro is the best PS4 that ever existed. They're continually making their hardware run older games better. And I really like that. I like that about the PlayStation line. I say that having not owned a PS5 Pro yet, but they felt that it was a big enough deal to talk about it in the reveal. Hey, your PS4 games will run great. Even better on the PS5 Pro. Which they're already PS5 enhanced. Some of them are anyway. Rematch with Koopa the Quick. Okay. Where is Koopa the Quick? Don't. Oh no! Oh, I forgot about the big fish! Oh, I forgot about the big fish! The big stupid fish with your big stupid sunglasses. Oh, I forgot about that guy. I already hate water in video games, and I know it's Mario. I know it's dumb baby game for babies Mario 64. But I wasn't expecting a big fish, and it freaked me out. I'm gonna steal this Koopa's shell and use it to avoid the big fish. Hey. Thank you. Let's get out of here. All right. Rematch with Koopa the Quick. There's the, the flag is right over here, so Koopa the Quick should be perhaps maybe at the top of the thing? Top of the mountain? Wind. It's fine. I love the concept of Tiny Huge Island. Tiny Huge Island? Yeah. But it's not a very good... It's not a very nicely laid out course, I feel. And I may just be saying that because I've died twice. But... I don't know, it's not a very good layout. It's just... Oh, here are some platforms with some space between them. There's wind. You're gonna hate it. Whatever. Perhaps I just learn how to fight back against the wind and be good at the video game. Ow. Ow. Okay. Think Koopa's right over here? Yeah, there he is. Now, if I recall correctly, this is actually a pretty tricky one. The goal is to get to the windswept valley. At least it would be tricky if I didn't know how to long jump. He'll never catch me now. Oh god, he's right there. Where's the flag? Cool. I thought I got way more ahead of him than I actually did. That is my bad. Sorry, I just bumped the mic. Sorry if there was any handling noise. I'm just so excited to be home, dude. I have been waiting for this since I know it doesn't sound like a long time, but imagine if you could only spend a few days at your house once a month. It's been since Christmas. And I miss my friends and family and my stuff and my things. And I do plan to do some recording while I'm there also, because I'm going to be there during, like, right smack dab in the middle of the week, so most everyone will be, I didn't realize that would put me out at the lobby. I needed to be huge, so I needed to be on the tiny island. Anyway. I'm going to do some recording while I'm home, because I'm going to be there in the middle of the week while everyone's at work. So that will be very nice. I set up a room at the house during Christmas break while I was there. And... Sorry. Hard to play the video game and talk at the same time sometimes. I set up a room to be the game room. The retro room, if you will. And... It's gonna be a very nice recording space, I think. I don't know, maybe I did need to be tiny. I think I needed to be small Mario. That was all my bad. Anyway, it'll be very nice to record in... Not the big fish, not the big fish, not the big fish. It'll be nice to record in a room of my house where I don't share walls with other tenants of an apartment. Because... I don't know, it's not like the walls here are super paper thin or anything, but I do definitely feel like I have to, maybe not necessarily that I have to be quiet, it's just, oh, okay, I thought I could kill those guys. I don't know, I just feel like I'm missing a sense of privacy in a spot such as an apartment that I would otherwise have in, you know, an actual home. So I'm excited to do some recording. Wind, please? I'm excited to do some recording in the room that I specifically set up for it. That was actually a huge assist from the wind, because I was about to fall to my death. Alright, let's get some big Mario action happening. I haven't found any of these 5 secrets. And I don't know this, I don't remember the stage well enough to know where they are. What do you mean? What? Okay. Let's see if I can... Huh? Nope, can't do that. Maybe I can do one of these. Dang it! I just want to get to the other side of this wall. Ooh, I just remembered. I set up the, we got an office mister. And if you don't know what a mister is, it's a... Oh, do I know how to properly explain what an FPGA is? It's a game console that uses a reprogrammable hardware chip to accurately emulate retro consoles. So instead of software emulation, where your CPU on your computer or whatever, I didn't push that button. Okay. Instead of software emulation, like if you load up ZSNES or Project 64 or whatever, where your CPU is approximating how an N64 would play these games. In FPGA console, that type of emulation is a one-to-one hardware emulation. It's the original console is being mimicked on a circuit level on a chip that is completely reprogrammable. So, an FPGA console is a console that can run things that are called cores, which are basically the every time you load a core, you're reprogramming the chip to act like a Super Nintendo or an NES or an N64 or a PlayStation, whatever. None of that was super important, but I felt like I should explain a little bit. Anyway, I thought I was on fire for sure. We got one for the office at work. A Mister, it's called. Mr. FPGA. Dude? Mario? Okay. I'm losing my mind. This is actually a really tricky stage. And I'm sure not explaining my my story very well. Okay, we got this console for work and it plays retro games and it's cool. That's all I need to say. But it was between that and a PS5. And maybe I was misreading the vibe of the room. But when we were discussing what game console we wanted to get for the office, the first like knee-jerk reaction was, let's get a PS5 because it's the new hotness, whatever. And then we sat down and we were going over what games we would want if we got a PS5. And we couldn't actually think of any games that we would want to play that are on the PS5, because everyone's into like older games, right? It was just, let's go to PS5 because it's new. I think someone wanted FIFA, maybe? And I was like, wait, hold on. What if I told you, for the same price, or cheaper, we can get a console that can play like all these consoles up to and including the N64 and PS1. And I'll even set it up for you. So that's how we ended up with the Mister. Which, again, maybe I don't think I oversold it. I definitely, people were excited for it. But, dude, let me get up there. Let me get up there. Will you let me get up there? Thank you. Whatever. I don't know what I don't even know what I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, dude. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying, dude. We got a Mister. I set it up today, and it's really cool. It is actually really cool. It's interesting because when you boot up the Nintendo Switch Online on, of course, the Nintendo Switch, and you load up an N64 game, it's like, okay, yes, this is a modern console. It's emulating N64, and sure, it runs like emulated Mario 64. But then I boot up the same ROM on the Mister, and suddenly it's running like it would on an N64, which maybe is not everyone's cup of tea, because an actual N64 is a little laggy. Its textures are a little lower. But if you're someone who grew up with these consoles, it just feels right. It's definitely a feel thing. I personally feel better playing Super Mario 64 or Diddy Kong Racing or Banjo-Kazooie, what have you. Oh, shit. I have a better time playing them on the original console, the original hardware, as opposed to emulating on a PC. Yeah, that doesn't account for releases where maybe instead of emulation, they did remaster the game in some capacity. Like, hey, dude. Like, the Xbox Live arcade versions of Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. I think those are perfectly fine ways to play it. Because it's more than just running a ROM. They actually ported the game to the console. But, like, the Switch Online and stuff like that, it's just the same emulator for all the games. And it doesn't feel the same. But that's because I'm 30 and I like old stuff. I'm the guy who shows up to work with an iPod and a flip phone, and I have a GPS in my car. Because I don't want to use a smartphone, so I don't have a smartphone. And my Casio digital watch. I literally use a CRT monitor at my desk for work, for actual work. I'm a freak. You know what? Don't listen to anything I say about what is and isn't correct for video games, because I'm just gonna try to sell you, or not sell you. I'm gonna try to tell you to just play the retro stuff, as God himself intended. God Shigeru Miyamoto. That was 80 stars. Hell yeah. All right. Well, that was a particularly fun one. I should do single episode sessions more often, because that felt good. Wow, what perfect timing, because my phone's ringing. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Probably gonna take a little bit of a Mario break to do something else, but you know, stay tuned for more Bill. See you next time. I am gonna make it through this year. If it kills me. If it kills me. I'm tired. I'm tired.